Well, actually, we go all the way back to, you know, how I got into music in the first place. I was about 4 years old when I heard my dad sing. He sang with a gospel group, the Pilgrim Travelers, and they traveled all around the country, and I wanted to be like him, you know, I wanted to sing. And then my aunt played the piano. Well, after I heard her play, I wanted to play the piano too and sing. When I was about 6 years old, I started playing the piano and singing. I guess when I was about 7 or 8 years old, I started playing for the youth choir in church. And it went on and on from there to there until I got into high school. And then I started picking up on R&B music. The groups like Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, Mary Wells, and that bunch. And I learned to play their music on the keyboard. But the kids at school, they zoned in on that. And so when they had talent shows at school, they got me to play their music for them on the keyboard. They were a lot older than I, but I knew the song, I knew the music, and I could play it. My grandparents didn't like that. They called that the devil's music. You're playing the devil's music. But I was doing what I wanted to do, and they basically let me do it. They didn't agree with it, but they let me do it. But anyway, but that's how I got started. When I graduated from high school, and I came to Kansas City to live permanently in Kansas City, at Kansas City, my home, I still knew what I wanted to do, although I was supposed to be focusing on going to college and getting a degree and whatever. But my first year in college, my first semester, I failed. I couldn't concentrate. I just simply couldn't concentrate. So I went to work on a regular job. There's some guys in the neighborhood that sing, and I got involved with them, and I wrote songs for them, and we performed around town, did a few shows around town with a group called the Derbies. Tommy Gatson and the Derbies. You probably heard that name before. But anyway, I hooked up with them. And it just kind of grew from there. I remember my first professional gig I did solo with Dionne Warwick. The promoter, Willie Cyrus, brought Dionne Warwick in to the American Legion there on Linwood and LaSalle. Now, I had never been paid any money for singing. They paid me $75 that night to open up. And only had to sing one song. It blew my mind, you know, it just blew me out the water. So when I did the song, I did a song by Wilson Pickett. At the time, Mustang Sally was top of the charts, so I did it. And I had never performed in front of an audience that big. It was like about 2,500 people in this room. It scared me to death. So I did the song, and I got a standing ovation. That really blew me out the water. They called me back out on stage. Lord, I was shaking so bad, I was scared to death. They had wanted me to do another song. Well, they started playing I Found the Love by Wilson Pickett. And I swear to God, I couldn't get nothing to come out of my voice, nothing. I was just frightened, scared. And so, City Gaston told me, just take a bow and go up and walk on off stage. We'll take it from here. And that's what I did. But But I was so embarrassed. I said, this is never going to happen to me again, you know. So I had some things to work on. And at this time, this was back in the day when all the young groups in town were competing with each other to see who was the best in town. So Derby's, they formed a review, and they called this review the Ebony Review. And they invited all the vocal groups in town to come in and be on this show and let the audience decide who was the best. And that was probably the best thing that could ever happen for the musicians here in Kansas City. So we pulled it off. That's when I ran into Marva Whitney. Marva Whitney stole the whole show from everybody. Marva could sing. She was beautiful. And it seemed like what we did didn't make no difference. Marva won it. About 4. But those were the days when the Bloodstones were the Sinceres. We were known as the Del Montes back then, but when we went to Chicago, we changed our name to the Visitors. Clark Davis and them did that. I don't know if you remember Don Cox.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Yeah, they were the Corvairs. Mm-hmm. Their names changed to the Carpets. They was with Chess Records. And so what happened is we got us to a certain point in Kansas City and still couldn't reach that level that we wanted to be on the professional end of it. So we decided to go to the cities where it was really happening. And that's how it all happened for me. I went to Chicago. First I went to Detroit. I went to Motown. I was hooked up with Motown for a minute. They had a director down there named Choker Campbell, and he was handling everything that come through there. Michael Jackson was just a little bitty kid when I was there. They came in and it didn't sound very good, but Gordy knew he could develop them. And strange thing happened that same day I was there. We were parked out in front of the Motown. And for some reason, they had a 7-car accident out there. And every car on the side where I was parked, every car got hit but mine. It was amazing. And another thing that happened that night, we didn't have no money. You know, we had a few dollars of traveling money. Diana Ross took us in and let us spend the night. Let us sleep on her floor. We ordered fried chicken, we had a ball. But anyway, we came on back to Kansas City. But what I learned at Motown, they says, well, we want to train you for a few months. Well, I got a job. The rest of the cats in the band, they didn't have no job. They didn't even want to work. You know, I tried to hire them. I was a manager at one of the Wade's restaurant here in Kansas City. And I was trying to give musicians a job, but musicians just didn't want to work. They wanted to hang out in the streets and sing. And make a long story short, none of the musicians were very good at working a 40-hour-week job. But when it comes to singing, they was on top of it. There were groups here in Kansas City every bit as good as the Temptations. You know, every bit as good as the Temptations. We came back to Kansas City, regrouped. We went back to Chicago. I had a show with Starlights at the Town Hall Ballroom. Well, Eugene Record told me he was the leader of the group, Starlights. He says, man, why don't you come on to Chicago? He says, Brunswick Records would hire you guys. And so I did that. It cost us about $7 a ticket to go to Chicago on the bus. And that's what we did. I went to Chicago. I went to several recording company. None of them turned us down. They wanted us to come back Monday morning when the people that signed you up, when they were there. But we went to Chess Records. We went to quite a few records companies. And we got the same thing. Come back Monday. I stopped at Chess, and that was Cash McCall. Y'all probably know Cash McCall. Cash McCall was there. And he was just talking to us. He said, man, you guys ought to come in these Chess. So on the way back from Chess, I saw the sign, Brunswick Records. So we went in Brunswick, and we had a demo. I had a demo that I had cut here in Kansas City. So I took it upstairs, and on the walls, I was looking at the pictures on the walls as we was going upstairs. And there was Gene Chandler and Louis Armstrong, Jackie Wilson, and all these great players, these great singers. And I'm saying, like, yeah, this is the place where I want to be. So when I got to the top of the stairs, the secretary asked, may I help you? So I told her who I was. I told her Eugene Record had told me to stop by Brunswick, check in Brunswick. So I gave her my CD, my 45 is what it was. She took it back and let somebody hear it. Then she brought it back to me and she says, Carl Davis would like to talk to me. He didn't have to speak to the whole group, just wanted to talk to me. So I went back and I talked to him. And he was there, first time I'd ever seen somebody playing with a golf ball in the office. And he was there putting his stuff on, and he was talking to me. He says, he explained Brunswick to me, and then he asked me, could I sing the songs that we had on this 45? That was not a problem. So he signed a writer to take me back in the band room. So I got the group. I told them what was up. We went back in the band room. And we sang the two songs that we had on the 45. And we went a little bit deeper. We took one of Brunswick's songs and we sang it. That was a song Billy Butler, Jerry Butler's brother, had out called You Got Me Ball and Chain. This song was pumping. And we laid it out. And then we came back and did a jazz pop tune. Finished from Heaven, altogether different. And I knew that would sell the group that I was with. So Carl called me back into his office. He says, he'd like to sign me up. That's what I wanted to hear. So he gave me a contract. He told me to take this contract home and let your attorney read it. And if you like it, sign it and bring it back to me. So I couldn't afford an attorney. So I went home and I read it myself. I read everything. The only thing that stuck in my mind, in my head that I read, was he's going to pay me $75,000 a year. And every year I stayed on this contract, my income was going to increase $25,000. When I saw that, I signed the paper. And I took it back. Everything seemed to be going good. We went back to Chicago. We recorded 2 songs. I'm in Danger and Until You Came Along. I knew they were great songs. They hit the chart just like, boom, just like that. Chicago was so fast, so much faster than Kansas City. We recorded that song one night. I think it was on Friday night. Now, Saturday morning, I'm the only one that's awake. I'm listening to WVON in Chicago, where they play all the latest stuff. They played Until You Came Along. They played it twice in a row, back to back. And they said this was a new group, and they called us the Visitors. Well, I'm saying, like, that's not the Visitors, we're the Dear Monkeys. We're not the Visitors. That's how fast things work. They did this above my head. So when I got back to the studio, I talked to Cole. I said, Cole, they got our song playing, but a different group is singing it. He said, no, that is you guys. See, I changed your name to the Visitors. You guys are visitors here in Chicago. So we decided to change your name to the Visitors. Okay, that was cool. I remember that. Okay, then we started working, started touring. All them down the East Coast, Florida, all the way up to New York. We very seldom came this way. So after about 2 years, I started seeing the bad side. I started seeing the suffering that musicians went through. Guys that didn't have jobs, they suffered. From the months, I would say, the middle of March up to about the last or middle of November, you had plenty of gigs coming through. From that point, past New Year's, back up to March, there was no gigs. So those guys suffered. And what would happen there is the Brunswick Records would pay their expenses until they started working again. But they would deduct all that money back from the money that they brought in when they went on tour. I didn't like that. My first royalty check was, now imagine this, they're paying me a cent to a cent and a half per 45 so. If I got a royalty check for $37,000 and I'm only getting a cent and a half, how much money are they getting? I know it's not my business, but it's still my business. They did what they said they was going to do, and I did what I said I was going to do.